Howdy there, travelers. Clem Clemens is the name, and well, I suppose I'm here to tell yous a little about myself. Question is, where to begin? Well, sorry to say, but old Clem here's story starts as a runaway. Yes, sir, not necessarily proud of it, nor would I recommend it to any of our listeners. You see, in my younger years, I had a lust for what you would call a wandering.
Oh, he means to say he's afflicted by wanderlust.
You always do have a way with words there, Orsen, but whether you call it wanderlust, a wonderwall, or a champagne supernova, the fact remains, I just wasn't too keen on staying in one place for very long. The thought of pursuing the family business of mining and stonemasonry just drove me sideways. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Those types of skills are supposed to come natural to us dwarves. And yeah, I sure rightly have done my share of whittling stones. But truth is, proficient or not, they just weren't my thing. So I snuck off the first chance I got and started traveling south. First couple of years started a bit rough, but I quickly learned and felt more at home living with the natives of Fargyle. Was always taught that humans were reckless, greedy, and not to be trusted. But I find once you get to know them, they're not a bad lot, really. In fact, many cities and settlements in this region are plumb ripe with other races, all working together in one way or another.
Oh, that's right, Jacques. Fargyle is a variable melting pot of humans and multiracial immigrants, all blending respective elements of their unique cultures and belief systems.
Yeah, that's the same thing I just said, just with less fancy words. Anywho, like I was saying, I spent several years working the farms and troubling until I finally realized that the rural life wasn't really for me either. Granted, plowing fields and picking fruit was preferable to mining and breaking rocks, but I couldn't help but notice all the folk passing through the farms of Troubling. They just kept on ranting and raving about the yearly festivals and the Simonian Royal Games. It didn't seem right for me to just settle on the outskirts, running the capital supply line, so I figured I'd try my luck at big city living and attended my first festival in Simonia about a decade ago. And whoo Nelly, were those games a sight to be held? Jousting, archery, racing, and brawling beasts?
Oh, and don't forget about the music, dancing, and even culinary competitions.
That's right. Unfortunately, I then found out all participants were required to not only be of age, but also complete general schooling. So I enrolled in elementary at the age of 22. Still quite young by dwarven standards. I reckon I just may have been the only lad in class with a beard that still couldn't read or write his own name. But I came along, partly in thanks to some of the friends I made in general school. Like my buddy Elton, who bought me my first sword and pair of boots. We'd often spar to get to know each other a little better in between classes. Or my good friend Alia, who helped me learn how to cook and found me a cozy place to rest my noggin over at the Simonian Hunter's Lodge.
Ahem.
And of course you too, Orsen, like I was elucidating to. For you're the one who helped me learn how to both read and write. And honestly, when you get right down to it, probably my best friend in the whole world.
Oh, no offense, buddy, but Jacques and you may actually be tied for first place in my book of friendships.
None taken, buddy, and Jacques okay in my book too. So I guess that's the gist of it. Worked on finishing school and developed a passion for adventuring. If all goes right, maybe the group of us can actually win some of the contests during the next festival and start to make a name for ourselves as a little adventuring party here in Fargyle.
Jacques and I agree. Now that we have graduated, the real-life experiences can begin.
So why don't you mention a little about yourself now, Orsen? Let the people know you.
Well, okay. There's not much to tell, really, or at least that I can remember. You see, I was actually abandoned in the slums of Simonia as a young Harengon. Oh, that's an anthropomorphic rabbit folk if you're a layman. I scrounged and scavenged in the back alleys of the west slums for several years, until I eventually met Jacques, who helped convince me to take on some more honest work, like landscaping and attending the stables. We eventually met a nice old man who lived within the city walls, near the East Marketplace. He was studying to be a wizard, and taught us our very first cantrip. Unfortunately, he fell ill one winter, and then died a few years back. Thankfully, Jacques and I had already secured a job working for the town library. We saved enough coin to enroll in schooling while maintaining the old place and covering the property taxes here in Simonia. I agree, Jacques. Taxation is theft. Just don't let any guards or officials in town hear you say that. So, long story short, we both survived and have now graduated. Me majoring in transmutation and evocation, and Jacques with a doctorate in arcane theology and esoteric danceography.
You're crazy, Orsen, but I like you.
Thanks. You know, Clem, I think it's about time we go grab a bite to eat. What do you say about maybe trying some street food in the west end of town today?
Sure thing, Orsen. You know I'm always hungry. Maybe afterwards we can hit up Elton and Alia to see how their final exams went. Well, travelers, it's about time we hit the road. But thanks for tuning in and getting to know us a little better. Now say it with me, Orsen. We'll see you next time on Dungeons and Vagabonds.